Will Kyle Shanahan ever win a Super Bowl? There was major pressure on Kyle Shanahan to win Super Bowl 58 because even though the Chiefs were gunning for that Super Bowl trophy, they're made men. Mahomes already had multiple rings. Andy Reid already had multiple rings. Travis Kelce, same thing with him. We were looking at Kyle Shanahan, who everyone seems to view as an elite head coach. But the one thing Kyle Shanahan doesn't have to his name that other elite coaches have to their name is a Super Bowl trophy and a Super Bowl victory. Say what you want about Mike Tomlin, won a Super Bowl. Say what you want about Doug Peterson, he's won a Super Bowl. Say what you want about Pete Carroll, who probably is going to retire sometime soon, he's won a Super Bowl. Say what you want about Andy Reid, multiple Super Bowl winner. Say what you want about Sean McVay, he's won a Super Bowl. Shanahan has not checked that box off. And at some point, when is Kyle Shanahan going to break through? Because there are no more excuses. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo was used as a scapegoat for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. And honestly, I didn't hate the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was a scapegoat because it was a legitimate criticism that Kyle Shanahan did not have his guy. It seems like Jimmy Garoppolo was just a bus rider, not a bus driver, you know, and he never really improved upon his game as time went on. Meanwhile, Shanahan, he's adapting every single year. Shanahan needs someone to keep up. I think Brock Purdy is that guy. So you wonder, okay, you find your quarterback in Brock Purdy. What's the excuse, Shanahan? What's the excuse? What do the 49ers not have from a roster standpoint? Now, let me be very clear. I'm not here to bash Kyle Shanahan. I'm not here to necessarily call him overrated, even though I do think you can make that argument still to this day. I thought Shanahan put in a valiant effort, but ultimately, Kyle Shanahan is good enough to where we're going to judge him by wins and losses in the Super Bowl. He's now 0-2 in Super Bowls as an NFL head coach, and not to mention, if you want to count the 1 year where he was offensive coordinator in Atlanta, he's 0-3 and blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. I understand that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are two all-time greats at quarterback, but you get paid the big bucks to knock them off. Doug Peterson found a way to knock off Tom Brady. Tom Coughlin found a way to knock off Tom Brady twice. John Harbaugh has beaten Tom Brady in a playoff game. You know? Zach Taylor found a way to beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game in Arrowhead, in Kansas City. So Kyle Shanahan, because you're such a great, talented head coach, we have to hold you to that standard. But I just want to ask the question, will Shanahan ever win a Super Bowl? Or is Kyle Shanahan going to fall into the boat where he's being denied championships because of an all-time great dynasty? Because I think he's a little bit closer to that category because at some point, like, when is Shanahan going to get over the hump? He's been in the game for several years now. He's gotten 2 cracks at a Super Bowl. Both times has had a lead late in the game and has not been able to cash in. That's coaching. I understand players have to execute, but at some point, when are we going to hold you accountable as a head coach to make the adjustments and to finish off these games? The best coaches in the NFL, they finish games. They take these W's when they have these leads late in the fourth quarter. I think Shanahan has taken some steps forward, however, because there was a stat roaming around where, Shanahan, when trailing with 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, he's what, like 0-31? Shanahan multiple times when trailing in the fourth quarter this season in the playoffs, he found a way, he was able to rally the 49ers to victory behind his quarterback, Brock Purdy. So Shanahan is progressing forward, but at some point, people aren't going to look at these moral victories. They're going to look at the wins and losses flat out and say, okay, did you get it done or did you not get it done? So the question for the audience is, will Kyle Shanahan ever win a Super Bowl? It is very much up in the air for Kyle Shanahan if he ever does that, because if you look at the 49ers, you wonder, what more can we do? We've made the necessary trades. We've drafted the players. We've found you a quarterback, Kyle Shanahan. At some point, when is it going to be your year and your time to say, I'm the best in the world? So I'm interested to see if that ever happens and if Kyle Shanahan ever wins a Super Bowl. Only time will tell, but Shanahan might be running out of time. And that's the reality, but we shall see as time goes on.